up them numbers, we running up on neighbors. We don't got no good karma left. We running out of favors, yeah. Dabs and hugs don't pay the rent. Never seen an angel sent to the side of town I live, so I reap while they repent. My role models were finesses. Papa kept pills in the dresser, gave me 40 and I flipped them. I ain't even feel the pressure. Never learned to press a shirt, never learned to tie a tie. Cause I seen my parents' checks and I seen they tired eyes. If we could've paid for college, hell, I might have been a lawyer, but that probably wouldn't work. I'm too motherfucking loyal. I've got too many people counting on me, on me, on me, on me. So it's go time, crunch time, night time, sleep time, wait time, work time, no time, make time. Luck is just something that you make. If they don't want to give, you take. Go time, crunch time, night time, sleep time, wait time, work time, no time, make time. Luck is just something that you make. If they don't want to give, you take.
I am not proud of what I've been, but I'm proud of where I came from. Drowning in a drink, going brain dumb. Waking up with strangers, don't know where they came from. Turned my life around and I started building kingdoms. All I do is work now, funny how it works out. Ain't no time to take her on a date, don't have a girl now. I guess that's the trade-off, guess I had to fade off to finally find the time to figure out what I was made of. Ay, give me space, love, I got shit to prove. I don't do this for no pay stub. I know that you hate the way it separates us, but success is something I need me a taste of. So it's
go time, crunch time, night time, sleep time, wait time, work time, no time, make time. Like it's just something that you make. If they don't want to give, you take. Go time, crunch time, night time, sleep time, wait time, work time, no time, make time. Like it's just something that you make. If they don't want to give, you take. Go time, crunch time, night time, sleep time, wait time, work time, no time, make time. Like it's just something that you make. If they don't want to give, you take. You take. You take. Girls, they used to play me. Teachers, they used to hate me. Used to ride in that Buick, pretending it was Mercedes. Poof, made it reality. Used to be just fiction. Mama, look, I'm finally a magician. Everything I envision happened like abracadabra. My girl, she feel the same. Them dudes used to laugh at her, now they wonder how she doing. Ask her, I be flattered. Her brain's been getting bigger, ass been getting fatter. Yeah, we been eating great. Squeaky clean plates. I'm a rubber feet. She gon' feed me grapes. Then we'll make a movie for a fee. I leaked the tape. No, not really, but she's cheesing now. You should see her face. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm fine. I don't wake up feeling like I wanna die. No, cause I'm thriving now. I'm thriving now. Yeah, I'm thriving now. I'm thriving now. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm fine. I don't do the shit I used to do to survive. Wanna say sorry, I have been oh so selfish. Living my life, not too involved in no one else's. I guess I got too greedy, scared to love freely. Can't hold a conversation, blamed it on my ADD. Yeah, I blamed it on my habitat. Old habits that die hard, doing anything to have some racks. Stay running game, always something to slang. Louis belts and J's, ecstasy and yay. Used to post at the mall, bootlegging beats by Dre. Then commute for 2 hours to earn my minimum wage. And that's just 10% of the ways that I got paid. The other 90% I gotta take to the grave. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm fine. I don't wake up feeling like I wanna die. No, cause I'm thriving now. shit I used to do to survive, no. Cause I'm thriving now, I'm thriving now. Yeah, I'm thriving now, I'm thriving now.
Hola, soy Dora. How you guys doing? Good Sunday night. Went out, got a haircut. We cooked some of the HelloFresh tonight. It was the first meal we tried from it, and it was pretty damn good. Got a little intermission screen now. Isn't this cool? It's fantastic. I don't know if I had the chat box set up correctly. I don't know if that works. But yeah, tonight we had the shrimp, mashed potatoes, and lobster tails from HelloFresh. And yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it was a little bit more prep work than what I thought it was going to be, but besides that, no, it's good quality. It didn't feel like they gave you really, really small portions. I was responsible for the mashed potato part because I don't trust myself trying to cook lobster and then ruining it. So I had to cut the potatoes and boil them and then mash them myself and all that good stuff, but it turned out great. And yeah, new fresh cut, looking suave. And what else did I do today? Nothing much. Went to the mall, got a new pair of sunglasses because I don't know where I put my other ones. I'm not the type of dude that wears sunglasses everywhere. Maybe at the beach and just in the car when it gets too sunny. But yeah, market's rebounding quite nicely. Like I said, not in any positions at the moment. Really don't see the need, just because we're coming off of that cash out with the already profit from the last recent top. I'm gonna go ahead and switch it over to the long screen. There we go. And bring out the thing a little bit to see the numbers. So, anybody enter off of this ABC right here? I don't really expect a lot of people to have caught that just because I feel like a lot of people saw this wick and that threw them from a loop. Like I said, to me, if it's anything abnormal like that, that's not normal market behavior, I don't tend to include it in what I'm looking at. Like this one, for example, is kind of debatable whether or not it's the same thing. It happened fast enough where I could say it was. All right, because otherwise, uptrend, downtrend, uptrend, ABC right there. But so far, we have exceeded the 0.441 of that recent ABC right here. So, I mean, if you're playing the short-term time frames, probably taking profit by now. Like I said, I do think there is a possible chance for either a higher high, looking for a longer ABC correction, possibly going into the future. Or, maybe not. Maybe the market's just going to stay thin for a little bit because historically, December 17th, I think, to be exact, has genuinely been a good date to call a market top and cash out. There's the sell in May and walk away type deal. December 17th, I don't think there's a cool phrase for it like there is with, May, but let's go ahead and look at the past here. Go out to maybe the 8 hour. All right, December 17th was the top of the 2017 bull market. December 17th was a good time. It was the exact low of the bear market. December 17th was not the top, but if you look at it subjectively, it was the top. That was December 17th right there. This was an intermediary because this is when Bitcoin was first getting its start. That one was in April. Yeah, that one wasn't congruent with what we typically see, but last two bull markets definitely have reached a peak and usually a bottom around December 17th. Let's see. And then the December 17th on 2014 was close to the bottom, but not quite. I mean, obviously, if you would have bought it on that exact day and just held on to it, you would have been, momentarily upset, but you look in the long run, December 17th is usually the time to buy or sell when we're in a bear market or a bull market. So I don't know if we're actually going to see a lengthened ABC here. It might be just a short ABC from this one right here and kind of just a straight shot to the upside. But if we are still very, very thin by the time we get to December 17th, I would be expecting that to be the top. So whatever time or price that we're sitting at that point in time, that's what I would probably expect for the market top, if not pretty soon. Sorry, my chips are my lips are chapped a little bit. There we go. But I mean, if you want to look at this from a traditional pattern perspective, definitely looks like an inverse head and shoulders looking to break out to the upside. I mean, obviously, I don't tend to do things like that. Obviously, that's what it is. But most people would take, you know, this as the target. The length of the arm. Kind of think of like a person going like this. That's what this would be an inverse head and shoulders for. Traditionally, people only think of inverse head and shoulders when you're, you know, coming into a dip and then, you know, coming out of it. But that's what people would believe. I mean, it lines up with 86,000. That's not too shabby of a target if this is going to take off to the upside. I mean, we got a whole month ahead of us before we hit that December 17th mark. So we've seen what can happen in a month. August, you know, up 100% almost. So we'll see. But I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm not getting on stream because I think there's an open position or the market's catastrophic at the moment. I'm just getting on, say hello, hang out for a little bit because I got some free time. But Zero Crypto, how you doing, man? Joel, woo woo, how you doing, buddy? Gnarly, howdy. Julius C, what's up, Kite? Nothing much. Johnny on the spot, church. Is this an early B-Day present? Back-to-back Kite streams, best present? Yeah, just for you, just for you. Let's see. Crypto Future Soldier, it's time to cash out song, please. I'll play that for the ending. I only I try to keep it like around 5 minutes for the start of the video, you know, because some people don't like to wait through the you know, the music and stuff because they might not like the type of music I pick, which is fine. People got different preferences, so they know to join around 5 minutes after they get the notification. But you gotta let people stack in a little bit. That way when I start talking about stuff, people are here. Can you check out Sushi, please? Yeah, sure, I'll check it out in a second. New layout. Yeah, it's just one of the things that I'm on Streamlabs has. It's one of their little themes. Eternity Sound Design, what's going on, man? You took that last ABC, Twixie? That's what's up. Hopefully you're sitting pretty. Gideon, what's going on? Thank you. Is the raccoon well fed? I don't think he's visited tonight, but I think I showed you guys the video. I know a couple of people added me on Snapchat that might have seen it, but the other night I came back from what was I doing? Oh, I went to Petco. So when I got back from Petco, I walked in the front door, and the first thing I see is the raccoon at the top of the stairs. And it kind of just goes like, I've been caught. I'm like, hey, what's up, Tony? Like, it's just normal at this point. But yeah, I guess they're well fed. Great question. I have a strat that on paper, on live, works great. But when I back tested, it's worse than just rolling a dice. So as much as I now hesitate to enter any trades. As such, I now hesitate. I have a strat that on paper, well, isn't that the same thing? That on paper means that you're looking at the chart and it would work most of the time. But when you back test it, well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, if you're looking at it and you're back testing it and you're being absolutely honest with yourself that, yes, I would have entered here and I would have gotten stopped out. Yes, I would have entered here and I would have made the profit. As long as you're doing that and you're being absolutely 100% honest, and that's also another way to find out whether or not your strategy is more geared towards intuition or if it's more robotic. Like I said, when it comes to trading purely off of technicals, it needs to be as robotic as possible. Obviously, there's times for discretion when the market is in a certain type of state and you've been exposed to the market long enough to, you know, have a little bit more intuition than the next guy to say, hey, maybe I should back off. But if you're back testing it and it's clearly showing the mathematics, the R&R versus the win rate is not working out, you need to find a new strategy, because you're hesitant for a very good reason. If it's a failing strategy, it should definitely not be used. Now, there's a big difference between a failing strategy and did it work out the past couple of months and it's just recently not working out, or was it working out at the beginning of the bull run, stuff like that. Because you might come across a winning strategy at one of the most golden points in its strategy points. So, like, obviously, like I said, with ABCs, they work incredibly well in bear markets, and they work incredibly well in bull markets as long as you're taking advantage of the pullbacks. But they have their weak points and strong points. So, maybe I'll have a 30% win ratio in a bear market, maybe around a 22% win ratio in a sideways market, and maybe, 15% in a bull market if I'm still trying to short and not just waiting for the pullbacks. But altogether, they would average out to a quite well win ratio. But yeah, before I forget, let me go ahead and check out sushi for you. Last time we looked at sushi on stream, it didn't look too appetizing, to be honest. A lot of sideways price action, very, very choppy. But, I mean, if you're going from the past here, from the highest high that we can see on our chart currently, it had a very, very nice ABC structure to get an entry from almost the exact bottom. And if you would have held that position all the way until now, just in terms of real price action, you're up 36%. You apply a 10x to that, you're up 360%. If you're 50xing it, which I don't know if you should be on sushi, like I said, with these lower cap altcoins, the volatility is high enough to where you don't have to be as risky in the market as you do with BTC. BTC does not have as much volatility comparatively. Obviously, it's still crypto, it's volatile, but comparatively, if you're on a 50x, that's quite a bit of money that you're sitting on. In terms of recently, there really hasn't been any positions just in this choppiness right here. Obviously you had this one right here, but this was a short-term time frame trade. You would have gotten stopped out if you would have held on to it. But, I mean, you could have, if it came back above, you could have got back into it. In terms of anything on the lower time frames over here, like the immediate price action, I do see an ABC, but at the same time, it's, I don't know. Do you want to take advantage of something like that? Typically, when we look at ABCs, we don't tend to enter unless the A and the C are close to each other. So that is the optimal entry, which is exactly what this looks like. Very long A, B, and then C. And you can see how they are very, very close together. These ones are more spread apart. Doesn't mean that it can't be a good entry for planning on holding it for a lot more upside. Obviously, if BTC and everything else starts taking it off to the upside, it would be a good choice, but not financial advice. Ethereum is riding high after its recent ABC entry. This one's kind of mid-tier. It's not as severe as Sushi's, but it's definitely not the most optimal entry. But this one performed quite well. Didn't have any drawbacks wicking you out or anything like that. You surpassed your target pretty much immediately. Now, obviously with these ones, the 0.441 is obviously our target from time to time. But that's usually on the optimal entries. When it's these mid-tier ones, it could come closer to a double top rather than kind of going to that midpoint and then coming back down. So, I mean, you know, at your discretion, you can kind of raise what your take profit would be. Because I think when we measured this on stream the other day, it was somewhere around like a 4.9, which is definitely on the lower end, and it wouldn't meet the criteria to take the trade based on our historical win ratio. So, at that point, you would want to kind of shoot for a 6 or a 7. To make it worth your while if you are going to take a trade like that. Or like I said, when we did take the trade back off of this ABC on Bitcoin, I plan on holding this. Well, obviously I'm not in it anymore because we cashed out, but I did plan on holding this for higher highs and a breakout towards that 75, 80K mark, which I would still feel comfortable doing. Like I said, the Austin side of me definitely felt like, or still feels like until we put in a higher high, that we might likely see a lower low than 57,438. But like I said, the trader side, you know, Austin has some input whether or not the trader does something, but the trader simply sees the setup and what is the potential profit, and is it worth taking the risk and, you know, seeing if you get stopped out. And absolutely yes, it is. As long as we were above this level, there was no reason to take profit. Obviously, I did so for different reasons, but as long as we hold that level, this is an ABC correction fully completed and awaiting takeoff. And we saw at that time many other coins lining up for the same exact push to the upside. So it was all kind of like those stars lining up. That's the current state of the market, I guess. I broke my hip and I can't trade right now. It's so painful. I'm very sorry, man. That sucks. How'd you break your hip? Rodrigo, I did quit vaping for 4 months and got into a sticky situation. And it wasn't just like a one-off thing. It wasn't one day that upset me. I was in the situation for an entire week, actually more than a week. And I needed some extra dopamine. Otherwise, I don't know. And haven't quit since. All right, it's only been a couple months. That was back in September. So I've already been re-vaping again for 2 months, 3 months almost. And once my sister decides to quit, because she quit cigarettes, went to vaping, and then she wants to quit vaping and obviously quit nicotine altogether, I'll join her on that. And ironically, I'm wearing a BMW shirt that Johnny Crypto sent to me. Thank you very much. It fits perfectly. One of the best shirts that I have in my closet at the moment because, I've definitely put on a little bit of weight since, DoorDash has been one of my primary sources for eating. But we got HelloFresh now. I had to cancel next week's order because we didn't even start cooking the first week's order and then they delivered the second. So we got 9 meals that we have to cook before I can, reactivate that subscription. But they're all crazy good meals, so I'm looking forward to eating them. Like I said, tonight was mashed potatoes, shrimp, and lobster. And I think tomorrow night we're either going to do an enchilada or we're going to do Gouda burgers. Gouda burgers. Liquid, are you rich from crypto? I'm very well off. I was fortunate enough to get into crypto quite early. I've been researching ever since I was 12 years old, turning 22 tomorrow. Actually, 5 hours, I'll be 22. So about 10 years ago is when I first got introduced to crypto. and I was investing in it by the time I was, 15 and a half, 16. So crypto's been very well to me. I know, right? Like, I have to admit, like, BMW, it's the best car, but for particular people. I think Mercedes excels in comfort and just the overall feeling like you're kind of in a plane. You don't feel the road, all that good stuff. I think BMW, what they're really good for, obviously they have the 7 Series, if I'm not wrong, which is similar to the Mercedes S-Class, but I've looked up a lot of reviews, and definitely the technology inside the car, like I like their infotainment system and stuff. I don't think I like it more than Mercedes, but I don't like it less. It's kind of like on the same level, just depending on what your stipulations are for what you're going to go for. But BMW definitely is more sporty, and I didn't really I'm not really, I like when cars go fast, but I'm not canyon carving or anything like that, or going to track meets, so I just didn't see the reason in it. Kite, how's the Zed Run horse? Unfortunately, I didn't think about it until like a couple weeks ago, but I did not back up my wallet on my old phone for Coinbase. Well, it was like, it's Coinbase's NFT wallet, and yeah, kind of screwed up on that move. I'm gonna sound very, what's the word for it? I can't think of the word, but as soon as I say it, someone's gonna say it. It was only, I forgot how much the horse was. It wasn't Miami to Ibiza. All right, I got that money. I sold Miami to Ibiza for like 2,000 something, but I think it was $400 to $800, which obviously sucks, but not the biggest hit that I've taken. I get stopped out for more money. Okay. But I do miss Pudge. Pudge is lost. Pudge is basically the Z.Run Satoshi wallet at this point. He's lost. Constantly adrift. He'll never race again. Yep, birthday is November 8th. I will be 22 in 5 hours. Now, I don't think I'll stream for 5 hours and become a 22-year-old on stream. I don't know if I have that in me tonight. I'm trying to keep my sleeping schedule, clean and green, at least for this upcoming week. I leave to go to Tennessee Wednesday morning, preferably around 6 a.m. And then I'll be back that following night, probably sometime around 2 to 4 a.m. I'm not driving back. I'm doing the morning shift, and then my buddy, he's going to sleep in late so that he can do the night shift. And then when we get back, we got a kind of like a day to chill out. And then the following day, we have my birthday party. We'll be having fun. A little bit of some. And then take Saturday to chill off. Reassess the situation. And then on Sunday, I have a Thanksgiving dinner with my family. And then on the following Monday, I'm taking my buddy back to Tennessee. Pudges. Yep, Pudges with Satoshi now. Prayer hands, horse emoji, angel emoji. Yeah, little doggo behind me has a cone on because, you know, he's had fleas the past 2 weeks. I've given him countless baths. I have sprayed and the carpets with the flea fluid. I have washed my sheets and vacuumed the couch and put the carpet powder all over the couch and the floor. It's an ongoing battle, but he's just trying to always bite himself at the current moment. I don't think he really has fleas on him. I think what's happening is obviously the 1 or 2 that do get on him bite him, and then obviously the whatever they inject into his skin is irritating the shit out of him. I feel bad for him. It sucks. And I have these like there are these dog treats that are safe to give every single day. You know, like they have the powerful pill ones that you use once a month. But these are just treats I give them 2 a day, and it's supposed to help kill the fleas. My 14-year-old let me know that he opened a Coinbase Pro account under my wife's name and transferred some of his crypto from his other wallet to it so he can trade. Great feeling conflicted. I don't know, as long as you're guiding him and making sure that he's not doing anything dumb like throwing all of it into altcoins. Like I said, altcoins aren't bad, but you have to treat them kind of like advanced sport betting, where yes, there can definitely be an upset and the payoffs are great, but the chances of that happening comparative to, you know, all the major coins, ETH, Bitcoin, you know, Litecoin, XMR, you know, all the high cap coins, is very slim. So you just got to distribute it properly. I mean, I hope every kid that is genuinely interested in crypto and learning about it gets the same chance that I had, because if my parents didn't let me do that, it wouldn't let me be in the same position I am today. So obviously he can't be, if he does make a good amount, he can't be really cashing it out because that would ruin your guys' taxes and kind of be suspicious. But it's, I feel like it's no different than a grandparent buying you stocks or bonds and then letting it sit until your 18th birthday and then giving it back to you and you decide what you're going to do with it. As long as you're the one in control and you can put your foot down when he goes and throws it into Cosmic Coochie Coin, you can, you know. Rupert Peters, he said DMT. No, DMT is a little bit too serious to do at a birthday party, my dude. I mean, there's really no correct time to do DMT. It's just kind of like, I think I'm ready to die. A little bit of fungus chungus. Why don't you use Market Cipher anymore? I talked about it extensively in the last live stream. I get this message all the time. Like I said, I don't think there's anything wrong with Market Cipher. I just think it's a little bit overpriced, and the way that it's marketed is to make people feel like they are the superhero of the market, and once they buy this tool, they're going to be set for life. Like I said, with any strategy, as long as you're treating it properly and you have a robotic, repeatable method of getting into trades, you're really not going to run into any problems as long as the mathematics align for profitable growth in the future. Meaning, how much are you taking in when you do want to trade, and how many trades are you losing versus winning on average? If that works out, then proceed with your plan. But I feel like most people that are getting into the Market Cipher community are looking at Market Cipher as a golden goose and not really doing the extensive research and requirements to be a long-term profitable trader. They are going, oh, looks bullish, looks bearish, and they're throwing money at the wind, not really having a determined plan of entry and exit if things go right or go wrong. That's my main gripe about it. For me personally, Market Cipher was a lot more work than it needed to be. Looking at the different time frames, trying to measure out the stochastics, the RSI, the MACD crossover / VWAP, the blue waves, the divergences, money flow, all, the trends, everything like that, versus what I could be doing and versus what I was doing, I decided to walk away from it. Mind doing some TA on Cosmic Coochie Coin? Does that? Please don't tell me that exists. I just made that name up. Lost a lot of money with MC before it became profitable. I did too. I also made a lot. I don't think I was really doing that well in terms of like constantly making more than I had. It was kind of in a state of flux, but slightly growing just because the market, when I did get into Market Cipher, was just kind of an upwards trajectory. And obviously that was early on in my trading career. All right. If I went back and used Market Cipher with a lot of the knowledge I have now, I'm sure I can do quite well with it. It's just, like I said, the way that Market Cipher is marketed and the unfortunate circumstances, the people that buy Market Cipher are typically very new to the market. You don't have someone that's been trading for 5 years going and buying Market Cipher. I wouldn't think so. Not because they don't think it's going to be a great tool. It's just they probably have a lot of tools at their disposal that they are now used to using, and they are making a profit with it if they've lasted that long. Kite, what's your advice for people with low capital, $100 to $200, and how to grow it? I mean, you got a lot of different options, obviously. KDA, the recent coin that Ryan put out, it did very well. If you can do the research and you can find coins like that, if you do want to throw your money at it, 20x doesn't sound too bad. That was a great call by him. If you're going to go the trading route, unfortunately, you have two options. One, slow and steady wins the race. All right, that's the whole thing. Obviously, that's what I would promote as a good influence. But in the past, with the $100 portfolio, if you want to go for it all. Now, here's the situation. All right, if $100 to $200 is not something that you can really lose and feel good about it, obviously losing money never feels good, but where it's not going to really hurt you and you can take another try or stab at it after, kind of reassessing what went wrong, or maybe it was just unlucky. You can use a lot more risk in the beginning, and as the account grows, you can reduce the risk. Because here's an example. With the first trade that I made on the $100 portfolio, I risked it all. I risked it for the biscuit. And I did 100% risk on my first trade. But if I would have lost, I would have lost the entire portfolio. Because I won, the account was now worth around $420, conveniently. All right. So now, in order to make the same exact trade and make the same exact amount of money, if we reach the same similar target, I would only have to use around 19% of my portfolio in order to make the same exact trade instead of 100%. Very big difference in the percentage of risk that I'm taking, but now I can make the same exact amount of money as I was. So I did that, and then the account became $800. Now, in order to make a $100 trade, all right, or $100 risk worth of trade, I'm now using what? Closer to 10% risk of my portfolio. So you can see as the account grows, if you're only looking to make the same exact amount of money per trade, obviously you're not, all right, the risk of the portfolio becomes less and less and less and less, but now you're making more and more and more and more money. That's obviously what you want. So I kind of had a laddering system where I kind of set goals. All right, when the account first starts off, I'm using 80 to 100% risk. All right, once the account gets this level, I'm using 20% risk. And then once it gets to this level, 10%, 5%, 2%, 1%, and then 0.5%. Right? That's how you would grow a small portfolio. Obviously, how fast you're willing to do it, that is determined by your risk. Obviously, if you're using 100% risk, you can get a 4x payout, 5x payout. If you're only willing to do a 10% risk, you might only make 50% of your portfolio, but that's still fantastic. Don't get me wrong. All right, so that's the unfortunate truth of it. I'm not promising riches by, next month or anything like that. And what I did with the $100 portfolio was strictly because we were in a massive bull market. All I had to really do was take the breakout trades to go long and use appropriate risk as the account grew, and it did massive. All right, but kind of approaching a different time here. We might be going into a bear market over the next year to 2 years, maybe even 4 years. Who knows? These markets are going to get a lot slower as time progresses. So doing that type of risk, I don't think would make much sense coming up here in the near and the future. Man, you just told everybody everything you had. I mean, that's a lot of different coins. I mean, I can't promise you a number on how much you're going to make at the end of the bull run. But as long as you cash out at the right time or take profit along the way, you're definitely going to make a decent amount with that much. Investigate the kidnapping of Quinn Michaels. I don't know if this is the type of channel to do that. Was there some sort of news for the pump tonight? No? The market has been in a bullish stance for a good week or two now. So, I mean, there's really no other reason to why this should be pumping. Like I said, I don't look at news all that often. Last time that I looked at the news for crypto, when Litecoin took off to the moon because of that false Twitter post put out, I'm assuming someone hacked their account. Obviously, when stuff like that happens, I just see things take off. All right, this is not a takeoff here. All right, then I have to be like, okay, what's really happening here in terms of why people are reacting so crazy to this? But this is normal market behavior at this point. Check out Solana. Solana is in an ABC top right now. And it is at the point where the entry can be confirmed. But I would be careful. All right, so here's the thing. When you're looking at altcoins, you really want to take note. All right, because when you have newer coins like this, obviously Solana, I'm sure I'm on Sol. I don't know if that's actually Solana. I'm not too versed in Solana. All right, but when you have altcoins like this, they might not react. Obviously, we can see a lot of ABCs that were very nice to play on this. We had this one right here that would have worked out quite perfectly. We had this one right here. But when it comes to these altcoins, you definitely want to go and look at BTC and ETH and what kind of position they are in, right? Because if you're trying to take a short position on Solana strictly off of its chart, you might have a bad time, because we see BTC and Ethereum in very bullish positions, possibly trying to have a breakout here in the near future, putting in a new all-time high. So you might not want to short Solana just because of what you see on the chart. But there definitely isn't any setup on the smaller time frames for long, all right, if that's what you're asking. Now, obviously, you can just go long just because, all right, if you want to, but for me, in particular, being a trader, I have to have a system, and if it doesn't meet that criteria, I can't get in. Now, if you do want to go down to the 5-minute or the 1 minute and try to find up a really small time frame setup, you definitely can. Like, you have this setup right here. You know, this would have worked out quite perfectly. You have an A, you have a B, you have a C. That would have been a nice entry for that pump right there, all the way following up. If you want to call this an ABC right here, obviously this is a much more lengthy one. We have ABCA right here, and then we have ABCB, and then we might have an A, B, C, C, and that could be your entry right there. And maybe this will be the bottom following the pump for BTC and Ethereum. Could be. Make sure I put the microphone just a little bit further down, because every time I watch the live streams, it's always doing the plosives. In times like this, I know what happens, right? Because I've done it in the past, right? And that's why after a long period of time, you start to condition yourself to be a little bit more patient when it comes to stuff like this, and follow the trader rather than the ego. But I know for a matter of fact, there's probably some people out there that probably got long positions from down here, or maybe right here, that have been holding on to them for this past, couple weeks. And maybe during this period right here, all right, and I try my best when I do streams during these periods of times, I try my best to make sure that you guys know, like, I'm not trying to pressure anybody to sell out. I just discuss what options the market has for my next particular position, all right? So hopefully nobody's sold out right here, because, I was, kind of preferring the market to come down a little bit more and make a larger ABC, because I do think that would be a lot healthier. I know for a matter of fact, there's probably some people out there that have sold during this period of time and cashed out the positions from right here, and weren't patient enough to say, hey, as long as we're above this line, I should be holding on to my long no matter what, if I am expecting to play this higher range. It's just the unfortunate thing, and hopefully through these processes, when people do that, and they see how it would have worked out, maybe next time they will take the chance on holding. It doesn't mean that next time it won't actually dump, but it's about understanding what is the positives versus the negatives, is the reward worth the risk? That's what this whole thing is. So that's my personal preference. And once again, I mean, this could be definitely a larger ABC that's happening at the moment. Maybe Solana is showing us what BTC might actually do. Maybe this is going to be the ABC top right here, and you know, ABCA, ABCB, and we put in an ABCC, you know, something like this coming down. Who knows? It's just about looking at the market, holding the positions that need to be held, but understanding what the possibilities are in terms of market structure and what it might want to do before actually taking off. Because once again, like I said, I do think that a longer term ABC, just like how we had down here, would be preferable to this tiny one right here. Definitely would be a stronger platform to have more of a rocket ship like this was. But hey, the market doesn't want to do that. The market doesn't want to do that. We'll see how it works out. But at the current moment, that's all we need to really worry about. Obviously, if you want to hedge your position, if you are a little bit more hesitant on what's going to happen, obviously it's all dependent on the person, right? Obviously, back here with this larger ABC, you can't really ignore that. Now, it's debatable whether or not this is a small enough time frame or a small enough ABC where you're willing to take the chance on one or the other. All right, but at the moment, would be the position to hedge. You would have your long position from down here, and you would have your short position from up here. The only drawback that would make this not preferable, obviously, it doesn't mean it's not preferable. It just means that it might suck a little bit, right? If you do have a lot of back and forth sideways price action along this level, you might have to re-enter the short a couple times, losing out on a potential profit if it does have to return back down to this line. But at least you lock in a little bit of profit along that way. But this would definitely be the hedging point. All right, before this point, this opening right here, there was no particular short hedge. All right, obviously there was this one right here, but I don't know. So now would be the entry point on that. Is my job trading? Yes. Do you enjoy trading life? Do you recommend it? I was fortunate enough to be in a very good position when I did start trading. I already had a sizable portfolio to start with. So I have done challenge portfolios in the past, but obviously that's more of like a fun YouTube thing. So I don't have the real experience of having an intensive day job and trying to make money / learn how to be a proper trader. All right. I did have a job at the time, but it was a high school job. It wasn't intensive or needed much of my time. And while I was there, I could still do a lot of stuff. But if you're fortunate enough to be in the position where you can dedicate a lot of time to trading, it can be a lot of fun. Obviously, it's very, very adrenaline pumping when things are going good, and even when things are going bad. It's just a huge coaster of emotions and can be very, very addictive. Obviously, in the very early stages of trading, it's a lot like gambling addiction. And hopefully, over time, you treat it more and more and more serious, and you learn a lot more skills along the way to make it more of a mathematical approach. Or if you're an investor and you're looking at different altcoins and trying to look at the fundamentals and all that kind of stuff, or pumpamentals as some degenerates call them, uh, and investing in that properly, that can be fun as well. Do I recommend it? Yeah, I think it can be awesome if that's what you want to do. Um, I've been trading for coming up on 4 years now. I've been trading ever since I was 18, so you know, uh, good period of time. And looking at Bitcoin and stuff like that ever since I was a kid, but not really looking at any technicals, or I really didn't understand what I was looking at. Um, but eventually, around like the 2.5 to 3 year mark, it became like a monotonous day job. And that's when I did start to lose a little bit of enthusiasm for trading, in terms of like, it was consistent and there was no longer a huge roller coaster. Obviously, I took hits here and there and then made huge wins. And obviously, the YouTube keeps it interesting. But that's when my strategy more started revolving around uh, making sure that I can do this day in and day out pretty easily and not have to worry too much, or spend too much time staring at my charts. So I had time to do other things. Obviously, I'm a kid and I like to, go hang out with my friends and, play video games and stuff. So I didn't want it to be something that I constantly had to look at. Uh, Trading's been very good to me, and obviously, the YouTube helps keep me motivated to do things. So hopefully, that answers your question. Try out the new GTA Kite? You talking about the remastered versions of everything? I don't think so. Unless it's like a total remake and new engine and everything like that, I'm not really one for playing the older games just remaster with higher resolution and stuff like that. One of the good games that came out recently that was a blast from the past was Destroy All Humans. That was a very, very good total remake. New engine, beautiful graphics, and just reminded me of what, I think Destroy All Humans, the first time I played it, I was at my dad's house, and it gave me a little bit of a nostalgia moment. But when it comes to just strictly the remasters, not the remakes, I like remembering what those games felt like and what I remember them looking like. When I replay them now and they're not updated graphics or anything, uh, I don't know, it's just kind of like that feeling like I don't remember it looking like this, because back then the standards for graphics weren't what they are now, so they were good graphics for the time, so you remember them differently. So Wim Hof is the man. I thought about doing a Wim Hof breathing session on stream for everybody, but I don't know, that's a little bit too hippy dippy for some people, I think. My current breath hold, well, obviously I haven't done it in probably a couple months, probably like 1 or 2 months, but for a period of time, for about maybe half a year, I was doing the breath work every single day. Uh, and by kind of the end of that period of time, I got my breath hold up to 4 minutes. I think one time maybe almost hit 5 minutes, but I kind of felt my body doing some weird stuff, so I was like, okay, I think that's time to breathe right there. But just conditioning your body to intake more oxygen is a very normal thing. I mean, there's some Asian cultures where the fishing villages and stuff, they don't use fishing rods or anything. They can hold their breath for 20 minutes, and I think even they have the ability to adjust their how their eyes are dilated by command to adjust for the water faster, which is incredible, absolutely incredible. A lot of people don't know this, but some people think that when you breathe in oxygen, it goes directly into your lungs and then directly into your bloodstream, and then your muscles and everything like that use up the oxygen almost immediately, but that's not true. When you do proper breath work before going for a deep dive, or maybe you're in the middle of a run, that leftover oxygen that's not being immediately used is actually stored in the spleen. So if you're doing breath work for, 10, 20 minutes, and then doing whatever you're going to do that's very intensive, you actually have a battery bank of stored oxygen for your muscles and all that jazz, to, be a professional diver that can hold their breath for 20 minutes, almost like a dolphin. Do you think the bull runs will be coming in a shorter period of time from now on? I don't believe so. I think they're going to get actually longer as the circulation supply starts to dwindle down and more money is in the market, because that means more people have to withdraw or, put in money to the market. That takes time. When do you start vaping again after putting yourself? I started back in September. Was when I started vaping again. I explained it a couple times on stream. Like I said, I got into a stressful situation for about a week and a half, and if I didn't have the extra dopamine at the time, I would have been very, very spiteful. Kite, how much time did it take you to find your edge over the market and develop your trading system? To this day. All right, it's a constant work in progress. Obviously, at this point, I've got it to the where I don't have to stress too much over it. Obviously, there can be things that I'm doing that if I change things up or maybe stopped one thing, it could make me a lot more money, maybe squeeze out like an extra 5 win percentage, which doesn't sound like a lot. But when you put it on paper and you extrapolate it out with compounding interest, it's an insane amount. There's professional level quants that work for like Wells Fargo and stuff. That's their dedicated job. Me, I have enough money in the bank where even with the moderate amount that I'm making, with that small percentage gap of win ratio versus win ratio and what I need to break even, I'm making enough money to support myself and a couple of my family members if I choose to do so, and still be able to save. So at this point in time, I have kind of slowed down on my search for the next thing and what I'm going to do and how do I perfect and all that kind of stuff. But it wasn't until about maybe a year and a half, 2 years into my trading career that I sat down and I came to the conclusion of the risk-reward ratio formula for calculating leverage, which you can find in the description. It should be called like Kite risk-reward ratio something. And that is what really made it so that I can quantify and replicate trades across a long period of time and keep consistent. Now is all about finding a strategy. Obviously, the first point I was using Market Cipher and I did okay, but it was a lot of guesswork in terms of there's a lot of room for, I don't know, maybe this, maybe that, maybe this, instead of if this, then that. That's what really made me feel confident in what I was doing. Not that I think that I'm going to win every single trade, but instead I understand what I'm getting myself into, and it's simple enough that I don't have to really stress about it. I don't do the ice baths, anything like that. But from time to time when I'm feeling it, you know, after I'm done in the shower, I'll turn it down to the icy cold session, you know, see how long I can stand it, and then, you know, hop out. What indicators are you using, if any? I don't see any. I really don't use indicators anymore, my dude. Obviously, if I double click on my screen here, it will pop up the RSI and MACD. You know, the RSI is good for finding divergences. I'm using the 125 length RSI just to keep it more, you know, stable. And it only shows you divergences where it really, really matters. And then obviously the MACD is good for just general momentum. I'm not making any trades solely based off of indicators anymore. Everything that I do is strictly based off of price action. I'm essentially trading divergences, but I'm not looking for divergences. I'm just looking for the price structure that divergences would typically form off of, and then taking the trade regardless. Because if you look at the RSI here on the 15-minute, we did not put in a higher low here. This was not a divergence. So if I was going strictly based off of whether or not we have a divergence, I would have been SOL on this. I wouldn't have taken that trade. But I take the trade strictly based off of the price structure, and if there was a divergence, it would all be correlated, and, you know, we take off to the upside, and, you know, here's the divergence, But instead I focus on the price structure. To me, all the indicators are doing is reading price structure and then repeating back to you in some other way. So why not go straight to the source? Why have someone bottle up the water for you and sell it to you instead of just drink it from the spring? Heard about Jason Casper? Yeah, I have. He's actually been on the stream once. What do you think about his strategy? I haven't really watched his videos all that much to really know what his strategy is. He's combining the Fibonacci 0.65 level with other confluence divergences. Yeah, it seems like a good strategy as long as it's set up properly. What are you targeting? So I've discussed this the past couple of live streams. The previous long that I had open from 59,539, I took that long not targeting the 0.441. Just coincidentally, the things that lined up, and, you know, when I went to go buy the vehicle, I cashed out at the 0.441, actually a little bit above it. But I took that long in hopes of holding it all the way up until higher highs. I'm talking the 70, 75, 80K range. So for me, it's an if this and that statement. All right, right now we're kind of still in a state of flux. Things could go the opposite direction, but so far so good. We got, you know, the traditional pattern perspective of having an inverse head and shoulders, looking for more upside. If you want to look at it from my perspective, we have an ABC correction, and we have completed that correction, and now we're on a trajectory to the upside. So for me, as long as we're holding above that $59,000, you know, $500 level, we're clean and green all the way to the upside. Like I said, my target 70, 75, 80. That's kind of what I'm looking for before we hit some sort of top. But obviously, price action will lead the way. Where am I from? I'm from the East Coast, United States, Virginia. Richmond area. Just in case you want to, you know, sit in a coffee shop hoping to see me one day. Four minutes is amazing. That's cool you're into it. Had no idea. I already read the last part of your message, but to touch on that, the Wim Hof breathing technique has rivaled some of the most intense psychedelic trips that I've been on. Like I said, you know, I've had tryptamine-based substances that have sent me into other dimensions, But the Wim Hof technique, like I said, one night I was doing it for about maybe an hour straight of just huffing and puffing. And what I remember was, like I noticed that I wasn't doing the Wim Hof anymore. I was like, oh, okay, let me start it back up again. But then I was like, wait. And I heard myself snoring. So, ever since I was a kid, I was very interested in astral projection. Whether or not you think it's just kind of like a lucid dream, it feels very real. So I heard myself snoring, and I tried to move my fingertips very, very slightly, and I was like, I can't move my fingertips. I'm in sleep paralysis. So I just took a second, and then I rolled over out of bed, but my body was left behind, and then I fell to the floor, but I didn't hit the floor. I fell through it, and I skydived. I just remember this endless black void, and I could feel wind coursing past my arms and face and chest and just falling to the floor. I could feel the G forces as I fell, and ended up falling into like this purple fiber optic wire. And then I kind of climbed out of the net, and then in front of me was this long hallway. I can't really remember what the hallway looked like. I know it was like a narrow strip going straight forward. I don't know if it was like dark and dingy or if it was well lit. But at the end of it, I met this, intelligent being. I can't describe what it looked like. I just remember the color orange, like a bright, glowing color orange. And we had a discussion about why I was there, what are my intentions being there, and what do I hope to achieve. I know that's the top of the conversation. I don't know what I said or what it said back to me in response. And the next thing I knew, I was in a national park, or what I would describe as a national park. There was a big open field and then trees all around me. And I just remember walking around. It was clearly nighttime, but I could see very well, and everything kind of had like a slight twinkle to it. And next thing I knew, I heard something running up on me, and I was face to face with a bear, and its paws came up and then tried to come down on me, and I held it, and I was pushing against it, and it was pushing against me. And I just remember the most amount of exertion that I have ever put anything into in my life, I put into that moment, and I was just screaming like trying to lift something heavy, like a bodybuilder type scream. And after I got it off me, I remember hearing, like, I heard my physical body, like an echo, was screaming. And the second that I thought about my physical body, I was right back in it. And I just remember, like, it felt like I came off the bed, and I just sat up, and I was like, I couldn't wrap my head around the fact that that just happened, because obviously when you're doing psychedelics, you can expect that kind of stuff, but never did I think it would come from that. And I haven't achieved that level again. I haven't really tried to go and do Wim Hof for another hour to 2 hours, because I don't know what I'm getting myself into. You seem very relaxed and give off good energy. Do you have any or done any spiritual practices? Uh, I've looked a little bit into Taoism. I was raised Christian, but I've read the Quran, the Bible, a little bit of the Hebrew Bible just for some confluences. Looked into Taoism. A lot of Hinduism pops up a lot in what I'm looking at as well. Some yogic practices. But the way that I see things, I view religion as just like everybody has a piece of the puzzle, but they all go, I'm right. And then they throw spears at each other until the sun goes down, which is very sad to see. I think, people come back from these experiences and they try to describe it and personify it in a way that makes sense to the culture and the time. And it just seems like because of the huge disconnect with how massive this world is, uh, we really can't come to the conclusion that there is something. We can't quite put our finger on it. We have our, the best tools we can to describe it, and that's that. And just be kind to one another and move on. And we're going to find out one way or another whether it's pitch black darkness or just non existence or there's something else. But either way, the here and now is what matters, and that's all. Because nothing else exists at the time. Hey Austin, joined the Discord a couple days ago. Are you in a trade right now? Not at the moment. Like I said, the last known entry was right here, coming off of this ABC. And if I was still in the trade, I would still be holding it. Like I said, there is the possible position of hedging against that long if we do happen to come back down below this level, but so far so good. Like I said, the intention with that first long was to hold on to it for higher highs, looking towards the 70 to 80k range. So far that plan is still playing out. Oh, I need to sit with some better posture. I'm leaning too forward. Always got to make sure that my dog isn't underneath the chair so I don't accidentally roll over his foot or something. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I don't know. I'm still debating on whether or not I'm going to do it, but I think I might get a different office chair. Maybe have this one as a backup for someone that, might need a place to sit. Obviously, I think I'll still use this one from time to time, which, I paid enough for it to the point where, if I get rid of it, it's not really a good choice. But I recently mounted a TV above my monitors, and it's a 65-inch, and the chair leans back enough where, for a short period of time, I can look up at the screen and not have too much stress. But I would like a chair that leans back a little bit farther with a headrest. That way I could, sit and watch movies or whatever. Obviously the couch is coming at some point, and I have a temporary couch. But that couch isn't really too comfortable to sit on for a long period of time either. So I feel like an office chair that I can lean back and look up at the TV with would be a best choice. I was looking at some on Amazon today. There is kind of like a Herman Miller lookalike. You can obviously tell that their designs are trying to go for Herman Miller, but they're charging just slightly less. So if somebody's wanting a Herman Miller, but they just need a little bit more of a discount, they can go with that brand. I forgot what they're called. I think they're Steel Case or something. But they have basically this chair, but with a headrest. And I was thinking about it, but if I do get a second chair, definitely don't want to spend Herman Miller type of money, because this one was about $1,400. It comes with a 12-year warranty, and it comes fully assembled in the box and all that jazz, and it's a very good chair, definitely worth the money. But I'm not really looking to pay $1,000 for an office chair again. This one is the one that I'm going to keep for a very long time. So that's why I spent the money on it. So, I mean, Shaq actually came out with his own line of chairs. So, I mean, I was looking at those. They look pretty comfortable. They're Shaq size. So, basically, make me look like I'm a little tiny guy, even though I'm definitely on the bigger side. Hopefully some of you guys are sitting in longs right now because this is phenomenal. This is what we've been waiting for. We're only a couple steps away. We've already broken this resistance and this resistance. So, I mean, if we do stay above this line, next place to retest in the market would definitely be that last local high. But obviously we're looking a little bit further towards the sky. Last stream you said you will do a 1K challenge? Yep, still the plan. But there was no possible entries for me to really get into. On the last live stream we were looking, price action was just coming over this ABC line right here. But for me personally, I just want a really good start to the portfolio. So I'm not really itching to get into a position. All right, like I told you, all right, when I talk about the Discord, I don't post setups just because. All right, I post setups that I'm personally getting into. And sometimes I'm playing multiple different coins. Sometimes I'm just playing Bitcoin. But on last live stream, we talked about how I'm either waiting for the market to put in a higher high and maybe putting in an ABC top for a longer ABC correction in the future. Or if we go down and we put in a lower low than 57,500 to put in a larger ABC in the first place and then have a launching pad from there. So I'm just kind of on the sidelines right now. I'm not itching to get into anything. DJ Walker, thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. No problem. I felt good today. You know, got the haircut. I ate good. You know, I liked how I felt after I ate that food because, you know, I've been doing DoorDash for so long that food just became food. You know, obviously I was getting good meals and stuff like that, and I liked the food I ate, but it just shows up and you just do it. But the HelloFresh, like, you know, it all came in. Obviously it's easy to assemble, but, you know, I made the mashed potatoes and, you know, it felt different. So, you know, after that, got out, got a haircut, bought some glasses, drove around for a little bit. Figured I'd hop on stream. I mean, if I chose to get on a little bit later, I could share my, you know, my birthday with you. I might hop on for a little bit later on tomorrow, just to say hi, what's up, celebrate my birthday with you. I don't know. Should we do something fun? I don't have any plans or anything like that with family because, like I said, we're delaying it until this weekend. Maybe I'll go out and buy some drinks. I don't personally drink alcohol like that, to be honest with you guys. It's not my cup of tea, but I don't know. Maybe we should do something fun. Maybe I'll go out and buy, you know, like a little tiny bottle of Grey Goose or something and take some shots on stream. I don't know if we can do that, but maybe I'll have to like walk over to the side and do that. And we'll just, you know, I don't know if it's gonna be like a strict. It's definitely not gonna be like a major technical analysis stream or anything like that. If I'm drinking, probably we'll just be watching YouTube and I don't know. Maybe we'll do something. You know, play some video games. I don't know. We'll just have fun. Just an idea. Hey, that's a good idea. We can do the Discord. I don't want to gatekeep. Like, I don't want it to be like you can't, you know, have fun with us unless you're in the Discord. But maybe I'll stream and have the Discord open, and you know, it's not just me on stream; it's everybody talking. But I feel like a lot of people, I don't know. I don't know if everybody's cool with being on stream. How often do you stream and what hour? It's kind of erratic lately. You know, this week's been good. You know, I've been consistently, you know, the past month or so, 2 months, I've been at least hitting one stream every week for the most part. Maybe, you know, a couple days would go by after that week mark. But as we get closer and closer towards the new year, I think I'm going to start streaming a lot more just to be a little bit more consistent, even if the market's not going good. I don't know, lately, obviously with New World came out, I was dedicating a lot of time to that and just kind of chilling out. Got into a little bit of a rut, you know, where, you know, you wake up, you game, you sleep, you wake up, you game, you sleep. And I wasn't feeling too good for a while, but, you know, I've been out of the house the last couple of days, you know, get in the car, and then that motivates me to go drive and go places, and I've been feeling a little bit better the past, you know, week and a half, 2 weeks. Yeah, Governor of Poker might be a good idea, because if I do drink a little bit, I don't think I want to be playing the charts because I'll probably do something dumb. What's the Discord group, Kite? So it's a paid Discord group. It's $50 a month. It's been that way for a very long time. And like I tell everybody every time they ask about it, really all it is a chance to connect with other people that have been trading for a decently long period of time. Like I said, there's a lot of great guys in there. And then I'll post my calls from every time to time. Like I said, they're calls that I'm getting into myself personally. So if there's nothing that I'm getting myself into, I'm not posting anything. So when the market's slow, I'm slow. You know, I post when I go live, and we can chit chat, and you just have kind of like a direct route to me. There's a question for questions for Kite channel that, you know, if you ask a question, you know, sometimes somebody might get to you and answer before I do, and usually it's a good answer because the people that are in there are quite knowledgeable as well. But if not, I'll answer. But that's in the description. It's a Patreon link. You got to take TP at 73K. That's just kind of like a placeholder. Like I said, that's the range that I'm looking for. Around 70,000 to 80,000 is what I think would be a respectable target coming out of this ABC structure. Happy birthday, young man. Thank you, I appreciate it. Inching closer, another 8 years and I'll be 30. I think the real positives of being that age, you know, like the 27 to 35 range, at that point, you know, you're kind of in your prime, so to speak. Obviously, like your physical prime would probably be your early 20s, but that's when things like, as long as you got everything else figured out, life's pretty smooth cruising from there, which can be a good thing and a bad thing, because it can be a good thing because obviously it's a lot less stress and stuff like that, depending on how things are working out for you. You know, like your insurance is less and your credit score is probably built up by then because you have enough credit history and you can do things and go places and nobody really gives you much fuss because you're young. But then obviously, because things might be going that good, potentially, you know, it kind of passes you by quicker. So I don't know. Depending on how you know how you look at it. But we've been streaming for about an hour and 31 minutes. So maybe another 10, 15 minutes. I'll head off for the night and probably going to sleep here in probably 2 hours or so. Yo, Kite. What's up, Ryan White? That rhymed perfectly. If you could dream as big as possible and you knew that dream would be true, what would that be? In other words, do you have a dream or goal of some sort? In terms of like what I would like to do with my life, I've talked big in the past, and there's a lot of other people in the space that are trying to do the same exact thing. And obviously, do I think this is going to ever be a reality? No, but I would really truly hope so. My biggest dream of all would to be at least to test to see if it worked. I would like to make a part of the education system in the entire world proper meditation. I'm talking deep meditation, almost like an ego death on psychedelics, and have that taught properly to everybody. And then at that point, I would like a simultaneous of at least 1% of the world's population to be in the deep meditation. And, you know, whatever hippy dippy statement you want to put in there, you know, project love and light into the world, hope for a better future, you know, and see if it does anything. Because the laws of quantum physics state that once 1% of particles come into coherence, the rest will follow. So hopefully that stays true for the mental state of the entire world. Because I mean, they've kind of proven the fact that there is some sort of collective unconscious that, you know, Carl Jung talked a lot about it in his books. They were doing some sleep studies and just like shared dream characters and stuff with two completely different people from two different cultures across the world, but describing these people and interacting with the same people. Just one example. I would like to see if that could do anything, if that could change anything. But in terms of more realistic goal, something that I really could achieve by myself, I want to start up my own dark retreat Airbnb service throughout the United States. They have these things, not common, but you know, they're definitely there. You can find them. But if you try to find these things in the United States, I mean, we're in a society where productivity is the main thing. If you're not always trying to create something better, do something better, make more money, you're kind of looked at as useless. So, you know, asking somebody, do they want to go sit in a pitch black room for an entire week with no stimulus? One, it doesn't sound fun because we're so used to doing things all the time. And two, from a productivity standpoint, they might not be able to. You know, if they miss a week of work, they might be, you know, SOL. They got to feed kids. They got to feed their wife, or their, you know, or their husband. So, I'm so sorry. Sorry. I should have been looking at the chat a little bit more. But hopefully that all came through at least somewhat clear. I know it probably wasn't fun to listen to. But that's my dream. You know, start a dark retreat Airbnb, because if psychedelics don't become legal in the United States, where maybe I could go get some sort of license to provide those for people in a set environment. I think the best thing to do is do what the body can naturally do, and the body, if not exposed to light, can produce a tryptamine-based substance that can provide a deep hallucinogenic state. And you know, those states of consciousness are not necessarily for fun. They can be fun, but when you're in those states of consciousness, like past traumas and your deep-rooted fears can arise, and hopefully that's a chance for someone to triumph over those. And once you get rid of that kind of monkey on your back, so to speak, I think that can have a really positive outcome on the rest of someone's life. And because of that, that might influence their kids and their loved ones and their friends. It might have them do the same thing and create like a spider web effect.
Mama asked me what my plan is for the future, but I don't even know what's going on for dinner. I'm 24 now, thought I could finally settle down. Parties end before I'm drunk. Friday night I'm tired as fuck. I don't know how I ended up like this. Can someone tell me what the hell I missed? Birthday's here, I'm still depressed. Got no friends, just lots of stress. It feels like yesterday when we were kids. Can someone tell me what the
Said, you mean you want to lock Airbnb guests into basements for days? No, it wouldn't be a basement. It would be a nice house. You know, a spacious open room. Some of the ideas I had for it was, obviously it's pitch black. You know, there is no light. But they would have meal service where there would be food delivered twice a day. And you know, I do believe I would put some sort of like voice recognition type thing where you can go, hey, guide me to the bathroom. And there would be kind of like an echolocation device that would ping where the shower was. So that way you could kind of like slowly make your way to it. Obviously there's a lot of legal issues with it, not in terms of like, you know, if someone's willing to sign up to be in a dark room for a week, that's their game. But in terms of like if someone was to fall and break a wrist or something, obviously that's like liability waivers that they would have to sign. And obviously I would have like either train people to walk people through the process and let them know, hey, you want to take things slow, do not be running across this room in pitch black darkness, you will just hit the wall and break your teeth. But yeah. Brian White, I'm so sorry, man, because we're about to end the stream in just, a couple minutes, probably 2 to 3 minutes. I'm not looking for shorts right now. Like I said, if we do happen to come back down below like that $64,100 line that I have there, that is a possible place to take a hedge short. If it wasn't for me putting the down payment on the car, I would still be in the long position from 59,539. That's the last current ABC that we had. Is it a thing in general, or did you think of this? No, this has been something that's been in cultures for thousands of years. So monks in the Tibet, their final test is to go into a cave for like 30 days. And like I said, due to the lack of light hitting your retinas, your body is producing melatonin all of the time. And once you produce enough melatonin, your body really can't use all of it because you're already going to sleep, or you're already in sleep paralysis. So your body will actually metabolize it into something that it can use to get rid of it. That just so happens to be a tryptamine-based substance. People say it's DMT, but it's not necessarily DMT. It's a tryptamine-based substance, but it's essentially the same exact effect as DMT. So when you're awake, you're in pitch black darkness, but at around the 3-day mark, it's no longer dark because it's light. It's very hard to describe what the process would look like. I haven't personally gone through that method of producing natural DMT, but I know for a fact that the experience is absolutely insane. Johnny on the spot, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Birthday Baja Blast and Sunny Seeds on me. Thanks for the knowledge and time spent repeating ABC. Thank you. I appreciate it. Cooper, I've got to run. Thanks for the stream, bro. Appreciate what you do. Thank you very much. You have a good night. But with that being said, guys, I appreciate you very much. Like I said, I might hop on live stream tomorrow. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a drinker. Last time I drank was when I went to the Myrtle Beach vacation, and that was fun. But I don't like drinking. But it's my birthday. And I really didn't have like a traditional 21st birthday. I didn't do the typical, you go the night before because it's legal to buy the night before, and have a big thing where you get absolutely wasted. So maybe we'll do that for 22. We'll do it on stream. I don't know what time I'll be on, but hey, I'll give you a heads up if I am. Malmo, thank you very much. You said, gotta sleep here. Thanks for answering my questions. If we do not talk again, have an amazing life. You as well. Trevor, thank you very much. I appreciate it. You have a good night. Twisting a fatty. If I don't know if I'll smoke. It's legal in my state, so I'm assuming because it's legal in my state, I might be able to do it on stream. But I got where's it at? From time to time, recently, I can't smoke at all in terms of like take a bong hit, but I have this little it's like a little hand pipe. It's silicone so that if it drops, it doesn't break. But it can be used, so there's little notches on it. Hopefully you can see that. There's little notches on it. Oh, I can actually just do this. There's little notches on it, so you can use it as a GB or a hand pipe. It's got one for a regular, like, Coke bottle. It's got one for a 2-liter or for a gallon jug. Or you can use it as a bong piece. But I just use it as a hand pipe because I take like a little tiny puff and I'm good. If I take any more than that, I'm probably going to die. But I don't know, maybe. I don't think I'll be drinking and doing that. That's definitely not in the cards. I'm not 18 anymore. And I'm not in shape, so I don't want to put my heart through that kind of stress. Yep, November 8th is the birthday. In a couple hours, I'll be 22. All right, guys, let's pick out a song for today's outro. We already have the first song selected because someone asked for it in the beginning. That first song is going to be Walls by Chris Webby. We're going to load that up. And then the second song is going to be, let's pick something off my like list. Yeah, we did a little bit of life talk a little bit today. I'm gonna play Cycle of Life by Zach Diamond. It's a little bit more on the depressing side, but it's still a good song, so I'm gonna play it. So if you like the songs from today's outro, let me know, and I'll look them up. That's the names. But with that being said, I love you guys very much. Thank you for making the past 4 years a very good time. And I look forward to many others. Like I said, I don't know if I'll stream forever, but for the foreseeable future, yes. And maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Like I said, I don't know, but I'll try to be up for it. All right, guys, let's go ahead and set it up. Bye.
I came a long way from where I've been. Got a heavy load. They say I've been carrying, and I know I'll have to answer for all my sins. So I better cash out right now for the walls closing. Yeah, I stole the game, getaway car in the open range. Grinded out, sleet, snow, rain. Took a hold of pain, no Novocaine. I'll show 'em plain and simpler. Broken down with the written word on how to strike when the iron's hot. And climb on top, then fire shots when you get the urge. I flip a bird to the system, that fugitive. Fuck the world with no lubricant. Keep hating, that's fueling this engine inside with this pen of mine. To get these rhymes, and then in time it got lucrative. Stuck 'em up and I doubled up. I'm 1-of-1 with no duplicate. If that shoe will fit, then I throw 'em on. Run a motherfucking marathon. Get the torch and I'll carry on till it burns out. And it turns out that it's still lit, never gone off. Here to make a scene till I'm hauled off. Burn bright till ain't nothing left, but don't fall off. So tell 'em. Came a long way from where I've been. Got a heavy load. They say I've been carrying, and I know I'll have to answer for all my sins. So I better cash out right now for the walls closing. Before the walls closing. Before the walls closing. I've had people that misleaded me and treated me like I'm nothing. Turning back or they bet against me, it seemed to me that they bluffing. I kept winning and kept winning and kept pushing they buttons. I hit them over the head with it, better check for concussions. I've been crushing, I've been rapping, enjoying now cause ain't shit lasting. Chip cashing before I'm out, then get the whiskey and pour around. Outlaw to my downfall, left lane and I'm speed racing. With a dream that I've been chasing, I keep chasing. My seat facing that limelight, strike gold when that time right, then bow out when that time's done. With my money in my mind right, ain't it funny how the hindsight's always perfect. And the wounds heal on the surface, and the scar tissue inside you will define you, but it's worth it. Find your purpose, find what you love doing. Find obstacles and then run through them. Make something stick and then unglue them, then re-glue them. Just keep moving and see through all of your enemies, and feed the fire with intensity. Just look at me, independently, I pulled off the heist of the century. Came a long way from where I've been. Got a heavy load. They say I've been carrying, and I know I'll have to answer for all my sins. So I better cash out right now for the walls closing. Before
wanna go back to a time where I felt alive and find a time machine to take me back when I was 5. When I was 5, I would go outside on my bike for a ride. I was on a high, those days were flying by. Does anybody else miss the old days when the only thing you had to worry about was to go play? I mean, if you say no, then I say no way. Cause truth is, now 2 hours can feel like 4 days. I was innocent, I was never stressing, not second guessing every single message that I was sending. Cause I was numb to the pain, the shame, the rain. Nowadays, when I wake up every day feels the same. I took those days for granted, I don't know what I'm on. It's like you don't know what you have until the moment it's gone. And even in the dark, I'ma still shine my light. But that's just how it goes, it's the cycle of life. I wanna go back to a time where I felt alive. Take me back to the old days. Those were the best days, I take it for granted. I understand it, like the cycle of life. I wanna go back to a time where I felt alive. Take me back to the old days. Those were the best days, I take it for granted. I understand it, like the cycle of life. Yeah. Let me go back in time, 1999, that's the year that I was born and I've been on my grind. Been on my grind, I lived this life, live long days, live long nights. And I wish I was still a kid when everything just felt alright. I got older, I spit heat, my heart gets colder. Days are slow, when is it over? Feel like I got this weight on my shoulders. Wish I was still a kid, like just for one night. But that's just how it goes, it's the cycle of life. I wanna go back